What's up everybody? I wanted to put my skills and these 4 amps to the test again. They held up reasonably well for the Master of Puppets tone, but can they recreate the crushing tone of And Justice for All? Each amp promises the taste of the Justice tone, but which one truly delivers? From the gritty Califier to the polished HX style, I'm putting them to the ultimate test. Stick around, because by the end, you might just rethink how much you need to spend to sound like Hetfield. The Justice tone is iconic. It's the imperfect storm between being a muddy mess and crushing aggression, which has made it one of the most polarizing tones in metal history. But can these amps capture the magic, or will they fall flat? Let's dive in and find out. From cheap to pro, we're breaking down what works, what doesn't, and which tone might blow you away. And Justice for All is one of Metallica's most significant albums, and boasts one of their most iconic, yet polarizing guitar tones. While it shares a lot of similarities with the Master of Puppets tone, Justice takes everything to the extreme, resulting in a sound that's aggressive and unforgettable. Despite its flaws from a technical mixing standpoint, many, including myself, feel a strong nostalgia for this tone. Its imperfections are part of what makes it unique. Thankfully, Flemming Rasmussen, the album's producer, documented detailed notes during the recording process in 1989, giving us invaluable information into how he and Hetfield created this tone. For guitar tracking, James either used his Gibson 1984 or his brand new ESP MX220. It's hard to tell because he had both at the time, and those aren't really specified in any of the notes, but he definitely used one of those. And I believe either one had the EMG 8160 combo that he's famous for, but I've seen online that he used an 8181 combo on this album as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that either. Then these were routed into the Mesa Boogie Mark II C+, and a Marshall 1960B cabinet. Then at the end of their tone, they're famous for using the Aphex EQF2. They had 2 of those to shape the tone a little bit further. The Justice tone is built on consistent principles. A tight low end,
and I'm like, whoa, this chick has a big ass.
Scoop mids, and biting highs. However, subtle differences come from EQ changes between tracks. Each track had varying gain stages, and how the amps and cabs were cascaded. The exaggerated elements, the aggressive presence, piercing treble, and deeply scooped mids define the album's sound, and contribute to its divisive legacy. Today I'll be creating my own version of the And Justice for All tone. Just like with Master of Puppets, I'm not going to go for 100% one-to-one recreation. I tried that, it didn't sound as well, so I'm going to do something more inspired by, kind of reaching for that same flair, but not exact. I've learned a lot over the past year, and I thought it'd be another fun experiment to do. So again, we're going to be using the Califier, the Fluff 2C+, the Neural DSP Mesa Boogie Suite, and my HX Tom. So once again, I'm going to use my trusted, tried and true Harley Benton EX84. It's got the same EMG 8160 combo that James Hetfield is famous for using. So now let's get into the first tone. First up is the Califier from Audio Assault. Which I used about a year ago for my guitar tone in the Eye of the Beholder video, and I was really impressed with how well it captured the aggressive character of the tone, and it makes a really great starting point for this video. The Califier is a 3-channel, high-gain amp modeled after the Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier Rev G. To refine this tone, I'm pairing it with a TSE 808 overdrive, which James would have hated, but the TSE 808 tightens the low end nicely. For the cabs, I'm using a combination of a Celeste G&T 1275 and a Mesa Boogie IR. To shape the tone further, I added an EQ, tightening up the highs and lows, removing a whistle tone, and lightly scooping the mids to get the And Justice for All vibe. So for this go-around, just like the Master of Puppets tone, I went for a less is more approach, trying to hang back on EQing so much, but I definitely like scooping out a lot of the mids here, especially because it matches the tone really well. So that was the only big adjustment I made to this tone. Next up, we have the Fluff 2C+ from ML Sound Lab. Inspired by Ryan Bruce's favorite Californian tones, this amp sim features a 3D cab simulator, allowing you to mix and match IRs, plus a built-in pedal board for added control over your tone. I've used this amp sim before in my Shortest Straw video, and it's a great, affordable option for trying to get that Metallica tone on a budget. While it's not an exact match of the Mark II C+, it definitely brings you closer to that classic sound. For the cab, I'm using a combination of the Celeste G&G 1275 and Mesa Boogie IR. Similar to the setup for the Califier tone. To fine-tune it, I've added an EQ to shape the sound. This time I scooped the mids a bit more, as it felt like a better fit for the tone. Next up is the Neural DSP Mesa Boogie Suite. which is one of the most accurate recreations of the Mark IIc Plus. It really captures the essence of the original amp, complete with pre-effects, EQ, a versatile cab sim, and post-effects, making it easy to dial in your tone. For this, I'm starting with the Metal Up Your preset, already available in the amp sim. It's a solid bass, and honestly I didn't need to make any adjustments to get the sound that I was after. Like with the other tones, I'm using the Celestion G1275 and a Mesa Boogie IR. To refine it further, I've added an EQ and scooped the mids even more, which I think really brings out the tone here. Lastly, we have the Line 6 HX Stomp. My trusted amp modeling pedal, and a staple in my setup. It offers professional grade sound with an impressive range of amps, cabs, and effects, making it a versatile tool for dialing in just about any tone. I've previously recreated the And Justice for All tone for the HX Stomp, which, like with the Master of Puppets tone, is available on my Patreon, but again, I think it's time for an update. While the HX Stomp doesn't have a Mark IIc Plus clone on there, it does have a Mark IV clone that gets it pretty close. To tighten up the tone, I'm pairing it with a Scream 808 again. For cabs, I'm using the 1960A T75, mic'd with the 57, and the Brit V30, mic'd with the 7 dynamic. To fine-tune the sound, I've added EQ adjustments, tightening the high and low ends, making a small cut at 4.5K, and balancing with a few additional cuts and boosts. It took some tweaking, but I'm really happy with where the tone landed. I'm really happy with how these tones came together. Each has its own strengths depending on what you're looking for. The Califier is an amazing choice for anybody who's searching for the Metallica tone on a budget. Even though it's not a Mark IIc Plus, it still nails the aggressive tone that Justice has. The Fluff 2C Plus is another great pick, especially for anybody who wants that Mark IIc Plus tone with an affordable price tag. The plugin's incredibly user-friendly, and with a little tweaking, I think it really held up to the Justice tone, just as good as the other amps on this list. Then we have the Neural DSP, which is a standout for its value. With a preset already built into it, it literally took me seconds to get to the tone that I wanted. It's big and powerful and really easy to replicate, with just some simple EQ tweaking, and this tone is possibly my favorite of the lineup. Finally, there's the HX Stomp, my most trusted and portable option. While this one took the longest to fine-tune, the effort paid off. The less is more approach that I've been implementing really worked well for the other tones, but the HX Stomp took me about like an hour to get right. But I finally landed on a tone I'm proud of. If you're willing to spend a bit more, the HX Stomp adds the flexibility of being able to take your tone anywhere, along with a library of all your other favorites. For me, this one's a tie between the Neural DSP and the HX Stomp. If I'm at my desk, I'll definitely use the Neural DSP tone, but if I want something ready to go wherever I am, the HX Stomp is unbeatable. Which amp tone was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Then if you enjoyed the HX Stomp tone in this video, I have it available on my Patreon. I'm going to update my preset packs just like I did for the Master Puppets one, and I'll put it on a little bit of a discount for the next month. So you can use the code down below to get 50% off this tone for the next month. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to check this one out right here. It's the other video I did in this series where I take the 4 amps and I tried to recreate Master Puppets tone. So if you enjoyed this video of me recreating the And Justice for All tone, I think you'll enjoy that one. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.